This is Ron Edwards, Master Sommelier and Director of Wine Education for Winebo Fine Wine and Spirits. Let's taste some Italian wine, specifically from Tuscany, and even more specifically from the region of Monteccucco. Monteccucco is in the southwest corner of the Tuscany region, sort of all encompassed by a region known as Maremma and in a district called Grosseto. Colle Massari is the producer we're going to taste today, and this is their Rosso Riserva 2015. So Monteccucco Rosso Riserva. This is a Sangiovese based wine, 80% with 10% Cilieggiolo. Yes, that's Cilieggiolo, and 10% Cabernet Sauvignon. The Cilieggiolo is one of the traditional blending grapes of Tuscany and is commonly used in Chianti. So you have tasted it, you just didn't know it probably. The hill of Monteccucco that names the appellation is a little bit more than a hill because it's 1,000 feet of elevation up off the coast. You can see the coast from the top of the hill, and it's influenced by the sea breezes. The vineyards that produce this red wine are at 985 average feet of elevation. So definitely enough elevation to make a difference in that climate, which is the magic of Italy. You're never very far from the sea. You're never very far from a mountain. So you get a lot of variation. Well, let's find out what it's like. Very pretty. The Sangiovese comes through very clearly in this beautiful cherry scent. The wine does see oak aging, but just to clarify, their version of oak aging means 40 hectoliter to 500 hectoliter barrels. So none of the small oak that we see in our wineries in California for this wine is really meant to let the wine age a little bit, add some oxygen to the aging for 18 months, and then bottle it. So you shouldn't expect this wine to be driven by oak aromas, and it is not. It is driven by this essence of cherry and a leathery sandalwood sort of spice. You can smell the black currant coming from the Cabernet Sauvignon, even at that 10% blending rate. It's got a dusty, powdery aroma, if you can imagine that, like dusty earth. It's got a dried floral note, somewhere, maybe both, violet, dried rose petal. And this this beautiful sort of iron note that it just smells like iron. Maybe you've had iron in your water in your house or something like that. There would be a reference point. And then there's some tartar fruit and cherry in there as well, like craisin, cranberry, cranberry juice cocktail perhaps, and some forest berries, a little blackberry. It's pretty. It's inviting. Let's taste it. So this wine has a presence. It's got enough of the alcohol weight and the tannin weight to start reminding you of the way you feel about Brunello del Montalcino or really good Chianti Riserva kind of flavor profiles. You got to respect this wine. It's going to work well with, substantive foods. And so that's one thing you should know right away, is that this is not just some light off the beaten path Sangiovese based wine from Tuscany, which you can run across a lot. This is a serious glass of wine. The flavor profile comes across very similarly, although I would add now there's some like a dried herbal approach coming through, sort of a cross between sage and bay leaf, added to the fresh and a little bit dried cranberry. There's pure fresh red and dark cherry. That black currant note that I tasted or smelled in the nose is kind of hiding behind all the cherry right now, but we'll taste it again. It may come back. There's that iron or metal flavor profile that's so classic for Sangiovese is definitely there. And well, let's taste it again. Okay, in the second sip, the blackberry shows back up, and the black currant, I mean, if I think about it, it's there, but then I feel like I'm making it up a little bit. I really feel like it's driven more by the red fruits on the palate. but that black currant was still there on the nose. That iron feel is like pervasive throughout, and I love that about Sangiovese. So this wine's making me very happy in that regard. I love how this wine showcases the grapes and a little bit of winemaking instead of a lot of winemaking in the grapes. So you get a sense that this wine was in oak barrels because it's got a little softness to it. It's got a little bit of, I saw some wood, but there's nothing here that screams, I made this wine taste this way. It really feels like this is the way Monteccucco is supposed to taste. It's definitely benefiting from the fact that it's a 2015. The wine has some maturity. I mean, 6 years old at this point, and it's gotten a little softer. It's gotten a little less angular and prickly, but in no way does the wine taste mature. So this wine still has plenty of time left. I really like what I find in the wines of Colle Massari. There's depth, there's complexity, there's intentionality in what they make there, and there's beauty. So you should definitely go out and find a bottle of Monteccucco Rosso Riserva from Colle Massari. I think you're going to really love this bottle of wine.